YouTube? Welcome back. This is going to be video number 2. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my full day of eating, training, cardio in my reverse diet, and I want to explain to you guys what the reverse diet is exactly, but I'm going to go into more detail on the importance of it. The video you just saw was this morning. I always wake up, weigh myself first thing.
But you miss me soon as it's over. Your name lighting up the screen, but you never call when you're sober. You say you don't like the games, but you play me like there's no tomorrow. You should know that I'm fed up with your lies, so don't come closer. You know you hurt me bad.
So cardio's done. It's 6:30. That actually sucked a lot. I was getting shin splints, like a shin pump, like never before. I don't know where that's coming from. Okay, everyone is still asleep, so I cannot talk too loud. But this is what I take every morning. It's just a probiotic, 1 capsule, and a scoop of this green supplement. It actually tastes pretty good. It's obviously it's green. It's got antioxidants, phytonutrients, but it also has 6 digestive enzymes. I think that's the main reason I'm taking that, just to kind of prime my digestive system for the meals coming up. But yeah, I'm gonna make that one now, and then I'll show you what it is in the rest of my supplements after. Omega-3, 1 fish oil pill. This is my multivitamin. The serving size is 6, so I'll do 3 now, and either 2 or 3 in the evening. 5,000 international units of D3, liver care, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and 1 B100 complex. I'm only going to wait about an hour and a half, 2 hours before I eat my next meal, which will be my pre-workout meal. Okay, here is meal number 2. 70 grams cream of rice, 1.5 scoops of Creed S'mores protein powder, by far my favorite. 1 banana mushed up, mixed in, and a teaspoon of peanut butter. So it's 9 a.m. now. I'll do this, train around 10, try to get 3 meals in by about noon, and then 3 more before bed. Okay, so I'm just finishing up back and calves. My post-workout meal is my biggest meal of the day. It's going to be 250 grams of rice. Basmati is one I use. 170 grams of chicken, 2 slices of rye bread, 4 tablespoons of low sugar jam, and a cup of orange juice. Now the orange juice is, my coach put it in. I haven't really asked him why, but he said there's a reason behind the simple sugars post-workout, and I have a pretty good feeling it's just to get your insulin spiked and increase nutrient absorption from the rest of the meal. It's becoming a pretty filling meal. I'm hungry in 3 hours after that, and when I have that meal prepared, I will take a picture of it. Okay, so I have a bit of time now to explain more in depth what reverse dieting is. When you diet or cut calories over a long period of time, your body, there's something called metabolic adaptation. And let's say you're starting off at 200 pounds like I did. I was eating around 4,200 calories per day, and that was just maintaining my weight. I wasn't gaining weight and I wasn't losing weight at that number. So that was pretty much my basal metabolic rate. That was how many calories I was burning in a day to maintain exactly where I was sitting. So when I started working with my coach, we dropped my food from that 4,200 to maybe like 3,900, added in a bit of cardio. My weight started coming down. And then once my weight stopped going down, that's a sign that my metabolism is now 3,900. So I'm now maintaining at 3,900. So then you have to drop it again. We dropped to like 3,600 and repeat. And at the end of this cutting phase, when we decided to reverse diet out of it, I was eating 2,700 calories a day on my training days and around 2,200 on my rest days. When we started reverse dieting, when we got down to 2,700 and decided to reverse out of it, I can't just go back to eating 4,300 calories a day like I was when I was 200 pounds, because I'm not burning that many calories anymore, and that will put me in a massive surplus. And when you're done dieting, your body is primed to store fat, it's primed to build muscle, it's just primed to store everything that it's being given. So we jumped up to 3,100 on training days, which wasn't a whole lot. That's the thing, is when you're reverse dieting, your appetite increases because your body senses this increase of calories and it's trying to adapt to that. But during this phase, it overcompensates hard, and your hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, I forget which one's which, but basically when you've been hungry and starving for a long period of time, they kind of reverse. The one that tells you you're hungry is very much elevated, and the one that tells you you are full is almost non-existent. So you can keep eating, and these hormones don't just level out right away. This takes months for everything to normalize. So you can eat and eat and eat, and you could be way over your calorie, like your metabolic rate number, but these hormones are still in the same imbalance that they were when you started eating, and you're still going to feel hungry. So that's where people make the mistake. They'll diet down, they'll get to their goal physique, their goal weight, and then they will just start eating again. The wrong way to do it. A lot of people don't even know that reverse dieting is a thing. And it's unfortunate because usually you diet down and you end up reverting back to where you were before or worse. So yeah, I jumped to 3,100, stayed there for about a week, had 1 or 2 cheat meals over the span of that week and a half, 2 weeks. And my weight was going up, but I'm staying lean. So then once we got past that first couple weeks and we kind of could see where my body was going with the food, we made another jump. And this time, and everyone's going to be different, I'm not the one that made these calculations and decisions for my diet. My coach did, and he thought, or he knows that I can handle a jump from 3,100 to 3,700, because we want to grow. We want to use this time period to build muscle, because you can build a lot of muscle at this time during a reverse diet, but you just kind of have to find that balance between building muscle and storing fat. And we are in a pretty good spot. The video that I put in here at the beginning of the video I put in at the beginning of the video, it doesn't sound right, but that's what it is. Yeah, so now we are at 3,700 on training days. My body weight's hovering around 180. I've got a few more days following this meal plan, and then usually after my chest workout, which I consider one of my weak points, I'll do my big cheat meal. My weight will likely jump up a few pounds, and then I go right back to the meal plan, and it will come down a pound or 2 and then just kind of steady out there. So I'm gaining weight, but it's good weight so far, and you have to be strategic with it. bottom line, if you are currently cutting, dropping weight, dropping body fat, decreasing your calories, increasing your cardio to get to a certain point, understand that you have to use that same approach going back the other way when you're finished. Because like I said, I was eating 4,300 calories a day, maintaining weight prior to starting my cut. I'm not even back up to that yet, and I am gaining weight on 3,100. I'm gaining weight on 3,700. My next jump, if I had to guess, will probably go to 4,000, maybe 4,100. And I'll gain weight there for a bit. Yeah, I think that's an okay explanation on reverse dieting and why it's probably the most important phase of cutting. You know, you can get down to what your goal is, you can look incredible, but you want to be able to maintain that. You don't want to just get there and then lose it in a matter of weeks, because I've seen it happen. I've seen people, you know, they diet down, and then as soon as they're done with their show, as soon as they've hit their goal weight, their goal physique look, they just start eating again, and they lose all of that progress so fast because your metabolism is not in a good spot. You have damaged your metabolism temporarily. And you know, if I were to have kept cutting for this show and it did not cancel, I probably would have been down around 2,200 calories a day going into it. And I would have had to be even more careful reverse dieting than I am now. And keep in mind, you know, my 3,700 calorie meal plan that I'm following right now, it's very specific to me. It's not something you can just kind of copy and apply to yourself and expect similar results. You know, I'm maintaining and slowly gaining weight with the cheats at 3,700. Some of you might eat 3,700 a day and gain weight rapidly. Some of you who are bigger or more active, different sports, etc., you might start losing weight on 3,700. You know, everyone's different. And what I wanted to kind of go into with that is how you can kind of do this yourself at home for yourself. You know, the easiest way to do it, and I would recommend, is to download an app called MyFitnessPal. It's free. You don't need to pay anything for the upgraded version. And you can literally just track your body weight, enter in the foods that you eat every day. It's got an option you can scan barcodes. It's very simple. Just give it some time, play around with it, figure out how to use it. The only other thing you would need is a food scale or some sort of small, cheap scale that you can weigh your food on. Doesn't have to be to the decimal, just to the gram or to the ounce, and then you just enter the amount that you're eating into MyFitnessPal. And where I'm going with this is, let's say you are wanting to lose some body fat. Just simple, lose body fat. You don't know how many calories you're eating per day. You don't know how many calories you should be eating per day. Use MyFitnessPal. Eat like normal, but track it all for a week. Look at the numbers, like the calorie, just the calories for now. Look at how many calories you ate every day for those 7 days. Figure out the average. Let's say, you know, you had 2,000, then 3,000, then 2,000, then 3,000. That'll average out to 2,500. And track your weight every day as well. And if by the end of the week your weight did not move and you are eating an average of 2,500 calories per day, you know your maintenance. Let's say your weight went down and you were eating 2,500 calories per day. If you keep doing that, you'll probably keep losing weight, and just keep track of that. And when you get to a point where you're not losing weight anymore, then you decrease food a little bit, maybe by 150 calories, 200 at most. You don't want to make big changes, and you don't want to drive your metabolism down too fast. Because let's say you're at 2,000 and you drop that to 1,000, you're going to lose weight, but your metabolism is going to adapt and get down to 1,000. You drop it to 1,800 instead, you're also going to lose weight, and then your metabolism is also going to adapt, but now you have room to keep dropping. And the same thing goes with cardio. Let's say you do 10 minutes every morning. Instead of dropping food, you can increase cardio to 20 minutes every morning. Little things like that are the most optimal way to go about it. You don't want to make drastic changes. You don't want to cut aggressively and shoot your metabolism to the floor too fast. Same thing in reverse. If you're trying to gain weight, figure out how many calories you're eating per day, track it for a week, track your weight for a week. And if you are gaining, good. If not, you got to eat more. You got to do less cardio or something. Like for training, let's say you're stuck at home right now with this quarantine thing and you don't have any gym equipment, you don't have any of that. Just Google some simple body weight exercises and track how well you do on them, track the weight that you can use, the number of reps you're doing. Make a little note of how well you're doing the reps and how much you feel it in the right places. And then the next time you do them, make a point to do better or to do more or to get a better contraction on the same amount of reps. This all goes under the principle of progressive overload. You want to always provide more stimulus than you did last time. So let's say you're just doing push-ups and you can't even do a regular push-up. You're doing them off of your knees and you can do 5. Okay, do 5, rest, go back, do 4, rest, go back. Maybe you only get 2 and then you rest and go back and maybe you can't even do 1. The next day you do that, assuming you're eating enough, you should be able to do maybe 6, 4, 3, and 2. Little improvements like that. And then eventually when you can do like 5 sets of 10 with your knees on the ground, try to do the first couple sets with your knees off the ground. You might only get 1 or 2, but after that, maybe you'll get 2 or 3, and then 3 or 4, and then you can start doing more sets like that. And that's all progressive overload. You're going to progress. You're going to improve. Yeah, it's 2:08 now. I like to eat my meals, usually have 3 of them done around noon. And then my next 3 meals I'll try to eat at like 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. And then I'm in bed not too long after that because I like to get up at 5 or 6 at the latest. I will show you guys the remaining meals. I hope I was able to provide some sort of helpful information right there. Yeah, I will catch you guys at meal number 4. Okay, meal 4. It's about 2:30. I'm just gonna eat it now and then maybe nap. But it is 200 grams of rice, 170 grams of chicken, and 1 teaspoon of coconut oil with the Heinz low sugar ketchup, which I use on almost anything. So I'm gonna eat that, nap, and then I'll be back for meal 5. Oh, my hand. 6:15. Meal 5, 200 grams of rice, 170 grams of chicken, and as always. So here's just some screenshots of my meal plan as it has progressed from the time I kind of started cutting until we reached the reverse diet where you can see it start to increase again. That's just to kind of help paint the picture of what I was explaining earlier. This video has hit 20 minutes and I do not want to make it go much longer than that. So I'm going to cut it here and I'll catch you in the next one.